Hello YouTube, welcome back to the Bison Workshop. I'm Bob, and today I wanted to go over some stuff before we get started on this job. Number one, I wanted to let you guys know that if I don't answer you in your comments, it's not because I don't want to, it's because I'm not getting any indications that anybody has commented on my videos. The only way that I can comment on videos is if I think that it's odd that I'm not getting any comments on my videos, and I actually have to go to each video to find out if I have any comments and then answer them then. Another problem I'm coming up with on YouTube is, for some reason here lately, every time I refresh my Bison Workshop channel, you know, I keep an eye on my channel at all times, 24/7. It's on my computer, ready for me to refresh at any given time to find out if anything's been uploaded by any of the people I'm subscribed to. Checking for any messages from any or comments from any of my subscribers, and every time I refresh, this error that I'm getting ready to show you right now keeps popping up, and it says error 500, network error, and says a team of highly trained monkeys are on the job, pretty much. Well, I'm here to say I agree with that 100%. YouTube is a team of highly trained monkeys, because that's about all they are. Believe me, if there was someplace else to go to put my videos up for you guys to see, I'd be there in a heartbeat. But anyway, I just wanted to update you guys on that. I just made a comment on my last video, and I was not indicated at all that I had a comment, and if I hadn't went and checked, I'd have never known that he had commented. So you guys bear with me on that commenting section. I'm not getting any notifications. So if I don't answer you, please don't take it personally. It's not meant that way. I pride myself on answering every single one. Now, I realize that if my channel ever gets that big, it's going to be difficult for me to be able to keep up with it. So, but until that happens, I pride myself on making sure that everybody who comments on my video is answered back. I think it's only good ethics, and I think it's respect to answer somebody back. And I know you guys are crooked, but I got you sitting on the hood of Rex's truck, and that's what we're going to be doing today. I've got Nerf bars that I'm putting on it. I've got one on it, and I put it on there like 3 days ago, and it ain't done nothing but rained ever since. So I haven't had a chance to do the driver's side, but I'll show you this side over here. I made brackets for it, so let's go ahead and show you that before we get started on the job at hand. Alright, these are the Nerf bars, and I think they look really cool. And I went and I made a mistake on these. I'm going to have to find some plugs to put in the holes that I drilled, because for some reason when I went to put these up, I had it located right here and it was correct. But then when I went to go put it up, I realized that this side here was down lower than this side over here. So what that meant was these brackets are the same distance from here to here, but they weren't the same distance from here to here. They were, one of them was taller on one end. So I ended up having to take both the shorter ones and put on one, and they were only different by about, I don't know, 3/4 of an inch, maybe a 1/2 inch. It wasn't much, but it was enough to make this look crooked on the truck, and one side was going to be downhill. So because they're on two different sides of the vehicle, no one's ever going to notice unless they've seen them both at the exact same time. And it's impossible to take one eye out and put on the other side and one eye on the other side. So anyway, so I put the longer ones on this side because of his wife, so that she could step on it, and that was my thoughts. And he actually asked that. He said, "Did you put the longer one on the other side for her?" And I said, "Yeah." So then I took some bed frame and ran from the bottom of this one to the frame, as you can see back there. I got them moved to the frame. So now they're pretty solid. But hopefully I won't make that same mistake on the other side. But when I switched and put the short ones on one and long ones on the other, for some reason it threw this forward too far. So my goal was to put the center of this into the center of the door. So, but we've got it figured out, and now I just got to put the other side on, and that's what we're going to do today. Now I'm not going to show that because it's pretty simple. You drill 2 holes and bolt them up, and then put a bracket from the bottom to the frame, and the reason for that is to keep it sturdy, so that when you step on it, it can't go back, because that's the only way it can go, is to go back, because it'd be like a hinge on the bolts to the body. But the job we're doing today is these right here. These things are all cracked up, they leak, they've had it. They've done said, "We're done, we can't do it no more." So this is actually going to turn into a review video at the same time. So let me put you here and bring you down. Hopefully you guys are in the scene. Let me get up here and look. And it's really bright out here, so I can't see. Alright, I think you're in line. I can't see the screen because it's too bright out here. If I had my SJ cam, I wouldn't have a problem. Speaking of SJ cam, they emailed me about 4 days ago and said, "Your cameras are being repaired as we speak, and they're going to fix them all." But what they did, they sent me another email today saying that they were going to send them directly to SJ Cam Factory, who makes them, to have them fixed. Well, that tells me they was lying to me the first time. So I'm like some of the guys that mentioned, or who watched the SJ Cam video that I made. I don't believe I'm ever going to see him again. So you guys are just going to have to get used to this sucky video with this sucky ass GoPro. I'm telling you, I am not impressed with GoPro. It's more aggravation than it's worth. And I almost said I wasn't going to do no more videos until I got my cameras back. But if I did that, I'd never do another video. So I'm just going to have to live with this GoPro. Anyway, what we've got here, ordered these on eBay, and I'll put a link to these in the description. Parts AM, lighting and accessories, quality marker lights for car trailer. And right there is the SKU number, if you guys can see it. I'll put that down here at the bottom of the screen. And there's 5 of them in there, and these are really pretty. He had a choice of the amber ones, like the ones I just showed you on top of the truck, or these. And I knew he was going to pick these because he's like me. He likes this kind of stuff. These have your hardware screws, which we're going to be using, unless they're smaller than the ones that's already there. If they are, then we're going to have to take those, if they don't break on me. They shouldn't. And just kind of wire wheel or steel wool the top of them for the rust, but they should be the same size. So we're going to use these. I don't believe we're going to be having to use these pigtails. I don't want to cut his wiring. So these lights here are exactly like the 194 bulbs, but they're LEDs. So these should go right into the other pigtails, or the original pigtails on the truck. And like I said, they're LEDs. They got 1 on the end and 4 on the sides. So that we got those. I better put these back in there in case they roll off of the truck and lose them on the ground. Step on it by accident. Alright, and then we've got the cover itself. And these things are sharp looking. They are cool. Got new seals on them with your punch outs. Hey, I might be able to use them for the bottom of something to use as a cushion feet to keep it from destroying your table or surface or whatever. Those would be nice for that. So we're going to get all these lined up out here on the truck. Keep those. And I'll get these set up and we'll be back. You know, normally somebody would just throw those away, but those would make nice pads to put on the bottom of something. Well, like for instance, my camera stand. You know, when I go to set it on my coffee table or my kitchen table, you know, I could drill out a hole, a flat hole, to put these in, where these stick out maybe half the distance of the thickness, and glue them in, and those would make nice pads. So I utilize everything. I mean everything. Something that normal person would just throw away. And everybody knows Bob at the Bison workshop is far from normal. I'm abnormal. Anyway, I'm going to put you guys up here on the top of the truck and let you guys inspect my work. Alright. So now, let me try to find a good place here to get. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to go to the other side. So we're going to start with this one since it's closer, and just pull our screw, and we're going to check our screws to make sure that they are the correct size. And these are really shorter screws, so we can't use the longer ones. The reason being, as you can see, the difference in the size. They are the same size round, but they're longer, and I don't want these to come down into his headrest, so we're not going to use these. So that's out of the question. Alright, so now let's pull this up off of there. Well, I'm going to have to go get a scraper. You know something? I have not been able to find a ratchet that I lost. I don't know where it went, but it just disappeared. I got a half or quarter-inch drive ratchet, and I have not been able to find it for about a week. Now we're going to have to take these and be really careful getting these up off of here. Alright, and it's pretty simple. We just spin it, take that out, let me check here. Yeah, see, those are too long. I don't know why they put such a long screw in there, but when I go to screw that down on there, it's going to hit the metal part that's in the inside of it, so we're not going to be able to use them. So we're just taking wire wheel those real nice, and so basically I'm just going to take this bulb out, put us a new one in, one of the LED lights. And they're a little thicker than the other ones. And then we're going to check it to make sure they work. Cool beans. See, this one don't even work. Alright, so then we're just going to take and scrape that down flat. The last battery went dead on my camera, and I swear I hate this GoPro. I hate this GoPro for several reasons. Number one, it's an awkward camera to work with. Number two, you have to have extra accessories just to use it. You can't just have your camera and use it and be done with it. No, you got to have wires hanging off of you. You got to have a mic hooked up to you. You got to have a box in your pocket. It's just aggravating. Battery goes dead every time you turn around, and I'm not having a good day to begin with. And I'm going to tell you that story while we're working on these. But here's what happened. The last section of this was stopped when I was scraping the cab to get it a flat surface for these pads to ride on the cab. Well, the problem we're having here is the hole, well, I thought I had one out. The hole right here is different than the hole in here. So I'm going to have to use these pigtails. I didn't want to use these pigtails because I didn't want to cut these original wiring harnesses because they have the nice plug on them, and there's no chance of any shorts or connection problems or anything like that. So basically I have to create another problem later on down the road when these don't work correctly. So basically what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to use these plugs with these pigtails, because the holes are different size. They're not OEM. These are supposed to be OEM lights, and what should have happened was I take these off, take this plug out, or this plug it into this one, twist it, screw it back down. 5-minute job. Plain and simple. 5-minute job. This 5-minute job turned into a all-day job, simply because I got to deal with a piece of crap GoPro. And I'm going to tell you, I'm not impressed with GoPro. I despise GoPro. I will never own another GoPro Hero, GoPro anything. So basically, here's what's happened. When I found out these wasn't going to work, I didn't have any heat shrink, so I had to go buy a heat shrink because I'm out, to cut these. So I went to Fastenal. They wanted $6 for a little pack like that, when I went and got these at Lowe's. So basically I went to Fastenal, found out they were too much for a couple little pieces. That wasn't even going to be enough. I was going to have to buy 2 of them to get enough to do this job. So then I had to go to Lowe's, which is another 4 miles up the road, and buy these for $2 something. So I got the 5-pack, bought 2 of them to do this job, and at the same time I'm dealing with my doctor. You know, I went to the ER the other night because of my face being swelled up, and found out that they weren't going to help me, because the ER doesn't do anything with your spit gland. And so then I'm supposed to make an appointment for the ear, nose, and throat. At the same time, I'm in pain and swelled up. You guys seen that in the last video about my fish tank. So, oh, it's just been a nightmare, man. I get there, they tell me my appointment was the day before, when I know I wrote it down correct, Thursday at 2:30. They said I was supposed to be there Wednesday at 2:30. They made a mistake in their scheduling. Oh, wow. Anyway. So now we're going to have to cut these, but what I want to do, I want to try to save these so they can be used for something else, because they are good. There's nothing wrong with them. So I want to cut half of this so I can use this later and use this on these. So we're going to have to do that. So let's get this 5-minute job done that took a whole day to do. Then last night, find out that I get up to go turn the heat. I was sleeping on the couch, and I got up to go turn the heat off because it was too hot in the house and I couldn't sleep. And when I get back there, I hear my new girlfriend in the bedroom with the door shut talking to another man, and trying to get him to come and get her and do exactly what she did when I went to go pick her up. Jump in the vehicle and leave. So I swung the door open, and she was like a deer in the headlights. And I said, no, you need to just go and tell him come get you right now, because you're not spending another night in my house. And it was pouring down the rain, and she went out of here. I can tell you that. And she left out of here exactly the way she left out of the last place. So, yeah, I'm not having a good day. So now what we're going to do, we're going to cut. Oh my God, man. Whew. Banging into stuff. Jesus criminy. Drill press too close. So now, let's just cut these, all of them. I really did not want to cut these. If you want OEM, don't buy these. It says they're OEM, but they're not. These don't fit. These are supposed to fit in there. So, you know, if you want to spend all day working on these, yes, get them. By all means, they do look pretty. They're nice lights, but it's not one of them things that you can just unscrew, plug in the new one, screw it back down. So if you get these lights and you want to put them on your truck to replace the original lights, you're going to need heat shrink, and to do it correctly you want to use solder. I'm not going to solder these. I've already had enough problems today. I'm not going to add to it. So you're going to need heat shrink. The screws that they give you, as you can see, are too long, and when you go to put these screws in that came with the lights, they hit the second metal plate that's on the inside, so they won't tighten up. So you're going to have to use the original screws. You can't use the screws that comes with it, so these are just extra screws laying around for something else later on down the road. And you're going to have to cut these. there we have them. They are working. So these are the lights I put on it, and there is complications when you go to do it. Put them on because they're supposed to be standard. They're supposed to be exactly the same size, and I just noticed that the line around the lights where these used to be are on the outside of the new lights, so they're even smaller. So I'm actually surprised that the holes lined up. So there is replacing the old broken lights with new ones that are part AM, I think that part SAM or something like that, however you want to pronounce it. That's it. They're okay. If you want to go through the work to do that like I just did, you shouldn't have to do that much work to just replace lenses. But there it is. I hope you guys are having a better day than I am. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. And I'm going to get me some Trump coffee and have a drink with you guys. So you guys have a good one. Later.